Listen, I want to say this right here. Us being forgiving is a part of what our Father has called us to do, what the children of God are called to do. This is not for everybody, this is only for the people of God. As people of God, we are called to forgive. We are supposed to forgive those who hurt us, right? But that does not mean that we have to let those who hurt us back into our lives. That is not what that means. Unforgiveness is leads to bitterness. Unforgiveness leads to hatred. Unforgiveness leads to opens the door for all types of evil, malice. Um, all right, unforgiveness uh, leads us to um, not be in a pure place, not have a pure heart, unconditional heart of love. Now, does that mean that we have to forget? I have never forgotten many of the things that were done to me, many of the things that have caused me pain. Now, I know it may be harder for some people. Some people can admit that it's harder for them to forgive, and that's an issue that they have to work out within themselves. That's not for any one of us to demonize someone. I think it's bravery and it's courage where someone can admit they have a struggle forgiving people, because they are admitting that this is an internal struggle, because deep down in my heart doesn't want to forgive. My heart doesn't want to release this person. My heart is angry. And so that may be true for some people, and we're not to demonize people like that who can express their feelings and express where they are. We're all different, you know. They're admitting their internal struggle. So I give kudos and I give a pat on the back for anybody that can verbalize that openly and be bold enough to say it. That's real right there. Don't get no more realer than that, you know. But we are called to forgive. Some of us have never struggled with unforgiveness. I know I myself, I've never struggled with unforgiveness. You know, that's never been a struggle of mine to just not forgive. But what I have done is I have opened the door in past times to people that have done things, and I've opened the door thinking that, you forgive and then you give people another chance, and then I see how things can even get worse. So I've learned that when you forgive someone, you don't have to, that relationship, that friendship, whatever it was, that doesn't mean that has to be uh, restored. you know you can forgive somebody from your heart and still move on with your life. Now I've grown, and I've grown wise, and I've learned one particular individual who was like a sister to me. There were times when I will forgive this individual just like my sister. you know um we were very close between this individual and one of my older cousins who's no longer in the earth, who's gone back to the Father. I would bounce back and forth between them. They were like the closest things at that time that I had to a sister. And so once I love you and I accept you in my heart, it's hard for me to release people, even people who do me wrong. That has been my problem. I have been loyal to my own detriment, to my own demise sometimes, if that makes sense, you know? And so when my cousin died, this one individual who I considered a sister for like 15 years, it's hard when you realize after 15 years go by that this person was never your friend. It's like, how could I be so dumb? And then you have people that give you advice and they say, don't say that about yourself. Maybe you were just a bit naive. But I think when somebody does something to show you, and you can kind of feel the vibe or feel that they're not really with you, and they kind of disrespect you or show you their loyalty with someone else, and then you forgive them, and then as time goes on, you let that person re-enter your life, and then they do something else that hurts even worse than the first time, and then you forgive them, and then as time goes on, you let them into your life the second time, and then you forgive them, and they do something else that hurts, and the third time, and you let it happen again till they betray you to the point of no return. Of course, I think that's God's closing that door, but then at some point you got to take accountability and say, I was a little dumb, it was my fault, because by the second time I should have known, by the third time it was my fault. They had this thing said, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on you, or shame, and then three times or something, shame on me. You know, But being forgiven, that's what we as children of God, we're called to do. But that doesn't mean that we have to um, open the door and just have those connections um, restored. We don't have to do that. You're not called to be a dummy, a boo-boo the fool, or a punching bag, you know or just thinking that somebody can do you how they want to do you, and then because you forgive them but you say, no, I don't want to have any more conversation, and they can say, oh, well, you're supposed to be a believer, you're supposed to be a child of God. How you gonna be a child of God and you don't want to, you let people, we don't have to be that dumb. God's people are not foolish. God's people are not pushovers. We have a strength about ourselves. We're people that walk in power, and we grow in wisdom and knowledge and discernment. And so we learn that I don't have to tolerate that. I don't have to um, listen to you treat me like this. I don't have to listen to you gaslight me. I don't have to pick up your calls. In fact, I can block your number. I can change my number. We don't have to be in each other's life. And I don't hate you. I don't wish evil upon you. I pray that you get yourself together. I pray that you get the help that you need. I'm just not going to be the one that can be there to be your fixer or to hold your hand and be the one you take all of your aggression out on because you're failing to deal with the root of your issue, you know? So yeah, but we are called to forgive because an unforgiving heart leads to bitterness. It leads to hatred. It sets us apart from God. The Bible tells us, forgive those who hurt you, persecute you. We're supposed to forgive our brothers and sisters 77 times 7. And I believe it's listed as that to show indefinite number. We don't have a right to walk in unforgiveness. And just because you talk about your problems, it's okay to do that. Let no one shut you up talking about your problems, talking about what you've gone through. If that makes you feel good, sometimes it can be therapeutic for people to talk and express things in a way where they share with others, or they give, they talk to others. Me personally, there was sometimes I found just getting on YouTube, sometimes speaking what was in my spirit, I find that to be very therapeutic. So let nobody make you feel bad for talking about your situation or sharing it, what you've gone through, or trying to give others insight on certain things based off of what you've experienced. Nobody knows your experience better than and you know your heart, and God knows your heart. So just make sure you walk in forgiveness, because when you do, you can sleep good at night. See, when you carry in bitterness and resentment in your heart, evil in your mind, you got to concentrate and be crafty about how you want to get people back, or you got to be thinking about intentionally trying to hurt somebody or avoid somebody. And the more you see that individual being happy and peaceful, it's going to make you angry if you're not walking around with a forgiving heart. There's some people that's done me wrong. I'm happy if they're at peace. I don't wish harm against them. I don't want to see them. In fact, it would hurt me if some of the people that did me wrong, I found out they were going through really sad times, because I still have love in my heart. There ain't nobody in this world that I have ever hated. There are a lot of people I avoid. There are people that get on my nerves, and that's annoying, but I've never hated anyone. I don't know what it feels like to hate, but I do avoid some people because of their wickedness, and I don't want anything to do with some people because, they just, the spirit is just off. But that's my right. I have a right not to give certain people access to me. But anyway, that's just my little 2 cents. God bless you. I love you.